What is going on, my goblins and ghouls? As always, welcome to the Spooky Lounge, and I am your host, Lucky, and today we have a special review for you. Shelby Oaks from Chris Stuckmann and Mike Flanagan. Now, before we get started, if you guys like horror content just like this, remember to click that bell to be notified anytime we post spooky or sinister content. Share the video and subscribe. Thank you all for 300 subscribers, guys. It means the world to us. Just wanted to take a moment. It's a massive milestone for all of us here at the Spooky Lounge, and we couldn't do it without you all supporting us. We're super happy and excited for what we can bring to the table for you guys. Join the community today and let's get into it. Shelby Oaks from fresh director Chris Stuckmann, first film. Where do we begin with this film, guys? Well, let's start from the beginning. Chris Stuckmann, through many interviews leading up to the release of Shelby Oaks that opens in theaters on October 24th. Let's start with the aforementioned Chris Stuckmann. Chris has gone on the record to say on numerous interviews that some of his biggest inspirations for Shelby Oaks was films such as the Australian horror film Lake Mungo and Noroi. Those were two of the biggest films that he really drew inspiration from on the track to Shelby Oaks, and he's also gone on record stating that a big thing with Shelby Oaks is his past, right? He grew up in a very oppressive religious type of environment. His sister was kind of excommunicated when she came out as atheist, I believe. Obviously not trying to diss on Chris's family's history or anything, but basically she came out as not Christian or not religious, and they excommunicated her. He knew that his sister was alive and thriving and kicking, but everyone kind of said that she was dead to them, right? And her soul was dead or whatnot. So that was a big draw, especially for if you have seen the trailer for Shelby Oaks, you know that it's a big sister looking for her little sister who went missing in a small town in Northwest Ohio called Shelby Oaks. Now let's get into the film itself, guys. Shelby Oaks was, in my opinion, an absolute masterpiece, and I'm not going to spoil anything in this video for you guys. I'm just going to give very overarching thoughts and my feelings on the film without giving you any of the details. Now, Shelby Oaks was a crowd-funded film on Kickstarter. It garnered over $1 million into producing this film. Eventually had the great Mike Flanagan come on board and Neon take hold of the Shelby Oaks film. Mike Flanagan, if you don't know, is behind shows such as The Fall of the House of Usher and The Haunting of Hill House. With all that being said, let's talk about the things that I loved about Shelby Oaks. Things that I loved about Shelby Oaks is everything. Shelby Oaks is one of those films that is so masterfully done by Chris. Obviously, you could tell that there was Lake Mungo elements. If you don't know Lake Mungo, go watch our top 10 found footage film videos. We shout Lake Mungo out in there. It's in our top 10. But there's some found footage elements. There is also some mockumentary true crime elements to this movie, and it blends in so nicely into the third act where it is simply just a horror film. It almost felt like the third act was similar to Hereditary in a sense. Some of the scares were so naturally done. There were some jump scares, but they were also thoughtfully crafted in this film. And truth be told, I never felt like it hit a lull throughout the entirety of this movie. I felt like I was always engaged, whether it was the mockumentary or the found footage aspect of it. This movie follows Mia, and she's looking for her younger sister, Riley Brandon, and that's the overarching theme of this film, is who took Riley Brandon and what happened to Riley when she was doing a paranormal investigation in Shelby Oaks. Now, Riley is a part of a ghost hunter YouTube channel. They really kind of dive into like early YouTube and how people were starved for horror content or content that was in person. You could feel it, you could experience it, and Riley Brandon's character gave them just that. We pick up with Mia 12 years after the disappearance of Riley, and she's grappling with the feeling that Riley is still out there somewhere and she needs to find her by any means necessary. Her husband thinks she's crazy. Everyone else believes that Riley is long past or deceased, but Mia's not going to give up. And throughout this film, we see a lot of courage from Mia's character. I gotta say, Chris does a beautiful job of not only giving us a character that is very open with her flaws, but also a character who you can see yourself in the sense that she misses her family and her sister so much that she's willing to do whatever it takes and put relationships and put work and put everything aside to make sure that Riley gets home safe. And it was beautiful to see throughout this film. If you haven't seen the trailer, Mia gets a knock at the door during this mock-you-series that they're doing about Riley Brandon. A man has a tape from Shelby Oaks and ends up offing himself. that is when Mia is basically thrust into the action of this movie and begins her journey to try and find her beloved little sister, Riley Brandon. And that's where everything starts to really unfold and take an absolute monstrous turn in this movie, guys. I don't want to give any more than that away, but the shots, the darkness, but also the well-litness of this film, I can't say enough about Shelby Oaks. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Shelby Oaks 5 out of 5 knives, guys. Originally, I was going to give it 4.5 out of 5 knives, but after really thinking about it, we couldn't come up with anything we didn't like about this film. We couldn't really come up with anything that we hated about this film or just thought that it was unnecessary. I thought everything in this movie was very intentional. It pulled on your heartstrings and it really affected you in a manner where we sat there after this movie, probably discussed it for 30 to 45 minutes of just wow, going bit by bit throughout this film. And it's not an incredibly long film. The only thing that I will say I didn't like is that we didn't get to see more. That is it when it comes to what we didn't like about Shelby Oaks, is we wish that it was longer, that there was more. Chris Stuckmann, we can't wait to see you again. We can't wait to see what you grew up in that mad mind of yours. Fantastic directional debut from Mr. Stuckmann. Guys, go see Shelby Oaks in theater this October 24th. You will not regret it. This is what small budget is. This is the dream. And remember to de-stress, progress, let your mind rest, and let me know down in the comments below if you have seen Shelby Oaks yet. What's your thoughts on Shelby Oaks? Are you guys going to do a little double feature this weekend? I know Frankenstein is running rampant across the country, but give Shelby Oaks the attention that it deserves, because this movie is electric. And with all that being said, I'm done yapping. I'm going to get out of here, but I will see you at the lounge in the next one.